This week on Flop Break, we are going to explore the top flip.
But we're going to swap it out.
What?
This Flop Break brought to you by Flow Circus. Co-founders Don Daria and Paul Miller have over 20 years of experience providing organizations with tools and trainings they need to promote well-being, strengthen teams, and practice strategies to thrive in the messiness of
Hey there,
learning,
and welcome
growth,
back
and
to
change.
our weekly Flop Break. Now, if you are a regular, which we have at least one,
Hi, Jeff.
you know that last week Don and I introduced each other to a sequence of tricks, a routine, if you will. Well, it's kind of interesting because we had different ideas of what a routine was, and Dawn was not emotionally prepared for the trick that I shared with her.
Paul didn't follow the rules that I set. He
Right.
followed his own rules. And so his was a little more challenging for me because I had one idea of what a routine was. And so when he introduced his, I found it a little more challenging. So I had to practice this whole last week in order to be able to master his. And I did. So I'm going to do it just to start off this week. You ready? Here it goes. Ready? Here we go.
Wait.
Whoa.
Okay, all right, now I'm ready. I just wasn't ready yet.
Okay. Now I'm not ready. But here, let's see if I can get
Do you
it.
have to take a deep breath?
Probably.
Mobilize your chi.
Here we go.
Whoa,
I did it. I
all
got
right,
it.
all right, that's it.
All
That's it. Whoa, high
Now, it was
five.
supposed to be a series of 5 moves. As you can see, that was 6. But Paul not following the rules.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you could have stopped early, I suppose.
So one of the things that I did that helped me was Paul and I went to practice the other day, and he was right next to me practicing. And I had to actually move away from him in order to practice because he was moving at a pace and a rhythm that was messing me up. And it was stressing me out a little bit. And so to lessen the pressure for myself, I had to kind of move away and move and practice at my own pace. So because I was kind of comparing myself to him, his pace didn't work for me. And I had to kind of break it down and move at my own pace. And so sometimes that might help for some of you. If you find yourself comparing yourself or working next to somebody and their pace doesn't work for you, whether it's flopping or whether it's some other work or play or other thing, that might help you. So
All right.
that was my trick.
The more you know. All
There
right.
you go.
All right, well, this week we are going to introduce you to the top flip. And the top flip is a sort of a variation of other tricks that we've worked on. If you recall from past episodes, we have the chop flip and we have the tap flip. Well, the top flip is, some might argue, is a little bit easier than both of those. And it looks like this, the top flip. Actually, I'm going to move back so I'm away from the table here. And that is the top flip right there. Now, what I do is I throw it straight up, it's a flat, and then when I come down, I take my hand, I turn it upside down, I hit on the top of it, and then as I'm coming down, I rotate my hand and it hits on the bottom. So it's a flip.
Does it have to come from, it just has to be coming from up above.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So you could come from this side, but I guess that's the most natural side
Yeah.
to come from this.
Yeah,
Okay.
I suppose, you know,
Could you
whatever
come
works
from
for
up
you.
here?
Sure. Show us what it looks like.
I don't know.
Okay, well.
That didn't work.
That
but
may or may not work with practice. So the top flip, you can do it with one hand, and that's a little bit fast, but you can slow it down. And how can you slow it down? By using the other hand to flip it. Right? So do you want to demonstrate that?
So this is the swap one we're doing?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is the top flip swap. And
Top flip swap.
A swap basically switches hands. That's what makes it a swap.
Whoop. Maybe?
All right. She was spending all week
I
practicing.
practiced it too.
She spent all week practicing the other trick.
Yeah,
that, you know, coulda,
So it's here.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, I like
There we go.
how you have your hand up there, so you just sort of, you're kind of throwing it into that hand.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, that kind of makes it a little bit easier, right? You kind of catch
would
it
you
up
do?
top. Well, I was making an impact. I guess now I was already up there. I was kind of coming in from further away, but you were sort of a little bit closer.
I
So
did.
that's-
I was watching you. That's how I came up with it.
All right. Nice interpretation. Okay. So that is the top flip and the top flip swap.
Do it
Now,
with the other hand.
Sure. Yeah, with the swap, you go back and forth, right? Because you're switching hands.
Well, I wasn't when I was practicing.
Nice. Now, the thing that I really like about this trick is that you can kind of make when you come down from the top, you can hit it with a little bit of force, And so you hear it. So it's a very rhythmic trick. Do, 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 do. Of course, that's my face making a rhythm, not the flop. But I can hear it. I don't know if it's picking up on the mic. So you gotta slap it from the top. It's got a very nice kinesthetic feel. Very nice, very nice.
Mine doesn't have the same noise as you. I'm kind of grooving with it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm kind of moving.
Yeah,
with it.
you are groovy. You're very soft.
Groovy.
Very soft with your flips.
So again, break it into parts, lessen the pressure on yourself, work on the flat first. If it's flipping all around or it's not, if you don't have a good solid flat, that's gonna make it harder. So lessen the pressure, work on parts, work on the flat first, and then work on, you might wanna start with having the hand there when you're practicing, and then, as you get more comfortable with it, you can kind of come in and make it more groovy.
Yeah.
So play around with it.
In fact, I guess you could even start like this with your hand back to back with the flop ball in the middle, and then slide the bottom hand out and away.
Oh yeah, the sliding that was when we were first practicing. Paul was first showing this trick to me. I couldn't get it until he said that sliding the hand away. Because at first I was kind of getting all jumbled up until he said that part about sliding the hand away. Because otherwise it gets in the way and it gets really confusing.
Yeah, and you definitely need to be throwing it up
Yep.
before you slide away so that there's momentum taking it up. Otherwise, it's just going to probably fall unless you're really fast.
Yep,
I'm really fast.
of course.
I'm fast like
Super speedy.
Fast like a lightning bug.
So there's
not fast.
there's a lot happening, and eventually it becomes intuitive. But when you're first starting, and that's a lot of times when Paul's explaining things with the flop ball to me, it's so intuitive to him right by now because he's been playing with it a lot. So he doesn't always explain all the different pieces because it's so intuitive to him. But for me, it's not intuitive. And so and that was what happened last week when you were explaining all the different, it looks super flowy and smooth. But to me, it was like, it just looks, it wasn't translating from my head to my body. And so that gets really frustrating. And so that intuitive wasn't happening yet.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes time, huh?
And so that's oftentimes when we're really good at stuff, it becomes so intuitive. It's that curse of knowledge. I heard that phrase one time, the curse of knowledge. It becomes so intuitive to us because we already know how to do it. But when we try to explain it to somebody who doesn't know how to do it, we don't know how to explain all of those little things that it's so intuitive to us already.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to know what people don't know, right? I mean, or even know what we know, right? We don't understand all the steps.
And they don't know how to ask because they don't know what those things are. And so that curse of knowledge can be really challenging. So.
All right. Well, work on the top flip and a top flip swap this week.
And if you want to know what that trick was that I was doing at the beginning, go back and watch last week's flop break.
Yeah, it's episode 18, right? We're almost at 20. Wow, we're at 20 next week. What are we going to do? We're going to celebrate.
We'll have to see.
We'll have a birthday cake.
Can't blow out the candles, though. And then serve the cake to other people.
That's true. All right, we'll see you next week.
Happy flopping, and see how it goes, and let us know in the comments. Flop on.